Imagine yourself under the veil of anesthesia, oblivious to the world around you. You're in a state where your consciousness has been dialed down, and the reality that you know is replaced by a dreamlike haze. This is the mysterious world of anesthesia, a medical marvel that has transformed the face of surgery. But have you ever pondered what happens when you're under anesthesia? Do you simply sleep, or is there more to this story? As someone who has been there, let me assure you, there's a lot more than meets the eye. I remember the day like it was yesterday. I was about to have a minor surgical procedure. Nothing life-threatening, just a routine operation. But the prospect of going under anesthesia was daunting, to say the least. As I lay there on the cold surgical table, the anesthesiologist with a reassuring smile told me to count backwards from 10. I didn't make it past 7. What followed was an ethereal journey into the unknown. Time and space seemed to blur together. My senses were muted, and the world as I knew it ceased to exist. It was as though I had taken a deep dive into the ocean of unconsciousness, where the familiar terrain of reality was replaced by a landscape of dreams and shadows. But here's where things take a curious turn. While I was under, unbeknownst to me, I was not just a silent observer. I was a participant, an actor in a play that was unfolding in the theater of my mind. And in this play, I was the lead, the hero, and the villain, all at once. I was revealing things I didn't even realize I knew, secrets that were buried deep within the recesses of my mind. And so, as I floated in this ocean of oblivion, my lips began to move, my words began to flow, and I began to narrate tales from the depths of my subconscious. As the anesthesia took hold, little did I know, a Pandora's box of secrets was about to be opened. The anesthesia was a key, unlocking a door to a realm I had kept hidden even from myself. Imagine it, if you will. Picture a vault, buried deep within the recesses of your mind, holding secrets so profound, so shocking, that they've been carefully concealed even from your own conscious self. Now, imagine that vault suddenly swinging wide open, exposing those secrets to the harsh light of day. That's what happened to me. I was under anesthesia, my mind and body numbed, my conscious defenses down. And in that vulnerable state, my subconscious decided to take center stage. It began to speak, to ramble, to reveal. The revelations came pouring out like water from a broken dam. Unfiltered, unchecked, words and sentences, fragments of memories, thoughts, emotions, all tumbling out in a chaotic jumble. The doctors and nurses, they were the first to hear it. The initial shock on their faces quickly gave way to a strange fascination as they listened to the unconscious ramblings of a man under anesthesia. They were the first to witness the unveiling of my secrets. But what were these secrets? I can see your curiosity piqued. But patience, dear listener, patience. All will be revealed in due time. For now, let's dwell on the mystery, the suspense. Let's let the anticipation build up. It was a surreal experience, waking up and being told that I had been talking in my sleep, that I had been revealing secrets. Secrets that I didn't even know I was harboring. Secrets that were so deeply buried, I had no conscious recollection of them. The anesthesia was the catalyst, my subconscious the actor. The stage was set, the players were in place, the performance had begun. But what was the play? What secrets had been revealed? What was the story that my subconscious was trying to tell? I was about to find out. And let me tell you, I was not prepared for what was to come. For the revelations were more shocking, more profound than anything I could have ever imagined. What I was about to uncover would change my life forever. The secrets that spilled out were as surprising to me as they were to those around me. Indeed, the revelations under the influence of anesthesia were a Pandora's box that I never imagined opening. What came out were not mere ramblings, but secrets buried deep in the labyrinth of my subconscious. They were fragments of my life that I had either forgotten or chosen to ignore, only to be unearthed in that strange, disoriented state. The first revelation was about my long-held fear of heights, a fear I never acknowledged. It was a strange thing to admit, especially since I'd spent a good part of my life pretending the opposite. I'd climbed mountains, jumped off cliffs into the sea, and even tried skydiving, all in a bid to convince myself and others that I was fearless. But under the anesthesia, the truth spilled out. I was afraid, terribly afraid, and it was a fear that had been with me since childhood. The second secret was more personal, touching on a relationship that I had let slip away. It was about a childhood friend who I had lost touch with. As the anesthesia-induced revelations continued, I found myself admitting how much I missed this person, how I regretted the falling out we had, and how I longed for a chance at reconciliation. The third revelation was perhaps the most surprising of all. I confessed to harboring a secret passion for music. This was something I had never shared with anyone, not even my closest friends. It was a secret hobby, a refuge that I turned to in my moments of solitude. Under the haze of anesthesia, I admitted how much I longed to turn this passion into something more tangible, something more public. These revelations, unexpected as they were, had a profound impact on my understanding of myself. They helped me realize that I had been living a life of pretenses, hiding my true feelings and passions under a veneer of socially acceptable behaviors. The anesthesia had peeled back this veneer, revealing the true me hidden underneath. But what was even more astounding was the realization that these secrets weren't just trivial pieces of information. They were fundamental aspects of my identity, aspects that I had chosen to ignore or suppress. They were secrets that had the potential to change the trajectory of my life. So what did I do with these revelations? Did I dismiss them as mere anesthesia-induced ramblings? Or did I take them to heart and allow them to shape my life in new ways? Well, that's a story for another time. But one thing is clear. These secrets weren't just surprising or shocking. They were eye-opening, life-altering. They were revelations that forced me to confront the truth about myself, to accept my fears, my regrets, and my passions. And these secrets weren't just trivial, they were life-altering. Waking up from the anesthesia, I was greeted not just by the physical pain, but by the shocking revelations of my subconscious mind. Imagine waking up from a deep sleep, only to realize that you have been dreaming out loud. That's how it felt, like a dream shared with the world. The anesthesia had turned me into a boundless storyteller, revealing the deepest parts of my psyche. It was as if a Pandora's box of secrets had been opened, and there was no turning back. At first, the revelations felt like a heavy weight. I was confronted with truths about myself that I was not ready to face. There were aspects of my personality and past that I had conveniently tucked away, now laid bare for all to see. It was like looking at a mirror that reflected not just my physical appearance, but the deepest recesses of my soul. Coping with the aftermath was a challenge. The first few days were filled with confusion, embarrassment, and a profound sense of vulnerability. I felt exposed, my secrets no longer hidden behind the facade I had carefully constructed. However, in the midst of the turmoil, I started to see a glimmer of hope. These revelations, as uncomfortable as they were, offered an opportunity for growth and self-improvement. They forced me to confront my fears, my insecurities, and my flaws. They encouraged introspection, a deep dive into the psyche, prompting me to understand myself better. I had to make changes, not just in my attitude, but in my life as well. I had to face the fact that there were parts of me that needed work. There were relationships that needed mending, habits that needed breaking, and a past that needed reconciling. The process was not easy. It involved a lot of soul-searching, self-reflection, and acceptance. But with every passing day, I felt stronger, more confident, and more at peace with myself. I learned to embrace the revelations, to see them not as a source of embarrassment, but as a tool for self-improvement. I learned to accept myself, warts and all. In the end, the aftermath of the anesthesia was not just about dealing with the shock of the revelations. It was about learning to accept the person I am, flaws and all. It was about understanding that we are all works in progress, continually evolving and growing. It was about recognizing that our secrets, our fears, and our insecurities do not define us, but they can help shape us into better versions of ourselves. The aftermath was a journey of self-discovery, a journey that led me to a deeper understanding of myself. It was a journey that forced me to confront my flaws, to accept them, and to work towards improving them. The anesthesia had lifted the veil, revealing a version of me I never knew existed. Coming to terms with these secrets was a journey in itself. In the wake of such a unique experience, I found myself on a path of self-discovery. I learned that the secrets we keep hidden, even from ourselves, can shape us in ways we never expected. Anesthesia, in my case, served as a key to unlock those hidden vaults. But it was only the beginning. One of the most crucial lessons I learned was about self-acceptance. We all have parts of ourselves that we might not be proud of, aspects we'd rather keep buried deep within. But acknowledging these darker corners of our souls is the first step towards self-acceptance. It's about embracing our imperfections, our quirks, our past mistakes, and our hidden fears. Only then can we start to heal, to grow, and to truly understand ourselves. Another vital takeaway is the importance of courage. Facing our fears, confronting our past, and exposing our vulnerabilities can be terrifying. But it's only through this courage that we can truly free ourselves from the shackles of our own secrets. It's not about being fearless, but about having the courage to face those fears head-on. But perhaps the most profound lesson was about the power of the subconscious mind. Our subconscious is like an iceberg, with the majority of it hidden beneath the surface. It holds our deepest fears, our most cherished memories, and our darkest secrets. But it also holds immense power. It shapes our thoughts, our actions, and our perceptions of reality. By tapping into this power, we can start to unravel the mysteries of our own minds and gain a deeper understanding of who we truly are. Anesthesia did more than just numb the pain. It unveiled a whole new reality. It was a catalyst that led me down a path of self-discovery and personal growth. It taught me about self-acceptance, courage, and the power of the subconscious mind. And for that, I am forever grateful. In the end, the anesthesia was a blessing in disguise. A surprising statement, isn't it? But it's a sentiment that has rooted itself deep within me, grown and flourished as I've navigated the aftermath of this unexpected journey into the depths of my own psyche. The anesthesia, that peculiar state of suspended consciousness, served as a mirror, reflecting back at me the secrets I had buried deep within. Secrets that I had hidden not only from the world, but also from myself. It's strange, isn't it? How we can deceive ourselves, tuck away parts of us into the shadows where they remain unseen, unacknowledged, and unexplored. But when these secrets were unearthed, dragged into the light by the potent power of anesthesia, it was like being reintroduced to myself. It was an arduous process, accepting these truths, these fragments of my identity that I had chosen to ignore. There were moments of denial, moments of discomfort, but eventually, these gave way to acceptance, understanding, and even a sense of liberation. In retrospect, this journey, which began on an operating table under the influence of anesthesia, has been transformative. It has allowed me to reconnect with myself, to understand the complexities of my identity, and to embrace the entirety of who I am. I have come to realize that our secrets, those parts of us that we often hide away, are not necessarily our shortcomings or our faults. They are simply facets of our identity, elements of our individuality. They add depth to our character, make us who we are. In acknowledging and accepting them, we allow ourselves to be authentic, to be genuine, to be whole. But perhaps the most significant takeaway from this journey was the understanding that self-discovery is an ongoing process. It does not end with one revelation or one moment of realization. It is a continuous journey, one that requires us to be open, to be accepting, and most importantly, to be kind to ourselves. And so I encourage you not to fear your secrets, but to embrace them, to delve deep within yourselves, to seek out your own truths, and to accept them. It may be uncomfortable, it may be challenging, but I assure you, it will be worth it. For in understanding and accepting ourselves, we find peace, we find contentment, and we find freedom. So as we draw this conversation to a close, I leave you with this thought. Self-discovery is a journey, one that can be sparked by the most unlikely of situations. In my case, it was a journey that began under the influence of anesthesia, but it could be anything for you: a quiet moment of introspection, a life-altering event, or even a random conversation. Remember, sometimes the most profound revelations about ourselves come from the most unexpected sources, and in my case, it was under the spell of anesthesia.